Hello, sweet friends. How are you? I am so happy to have you here with me in the kitchen. I'm going to start off with this chicken squash casserole, and we had some potato cakes to go along with it. I guess if you would sum up this whole video, it would be comfort foods. So we're going to start off with this one. I just grated up my yellow squash and my zucchini into my bowl here. I just used my little hand grater, added in some onion. I have made this recipe before and I was pretty sure I showed it here on the channel, but I went back to look for it and I couldn't find it. But it's a squash casserole with chicken in it. So after you get your veggies, you're just going to add in your Jiffy cornbread mix and just follow the ingredients on the side of the box for that. So I think it's a 1/3 cup milk, an egg, and your cornbread mix. And then I just did 1 boneless skinless chicken breast, boiled that up on the stove real quick and shredded that up. Just get that mixed in, and it calls for some cheese, as any good casserole usually has. And yeah, it's just a really good one. It makes it kind of a, a one dish meal type thing, because it's got your veggies, your cheese, your chicken, all that in this yummy casserole. So I'll have this recipe down below. It doesn't take real long to bake, and just turns out really delicious. So you reserve back some of your cheese and put on the top and get that in the oven. Now I decided to finish up some mashed potatoes. I had the Bob Evans refrigerated mashed potatoes. That's such a time saver, especially for just James and me. It's really nice to just buy. I usually buy those when they're on sale, and it's nice to have mashed potatoes already ready. Just heat them up in the microwave. Well, we had used a portion of them, and the other portion I decided to make potato cakes. I've never done that before with these Bob Evans mashed potatoes, but they worked out just perfectly. I just stirred in a little bit of flour and a little bit of water. Just kind of helps make a little bit of a paste, kind of. Honestly, it sounds kind of strange, but that's kind of what it does. That's what binds these potatoes together when you fry them up. I just used a little bit of olive oil and just leave them on your pan until they get a good crust on the bottom. Then flip them over. And here's the casserole out of the oven, all cheesy and delicious. I was also kind of wanting some green beans, so I just cooked up some green beans on the stovetop. Of course, those potato cakes that you just saw me fry up, and this was just a really yummy, delicious dinner. We enjoyed it thoroughly, and if you think you would like something like this, adding in the chicken to the squash casserole, definitely give it a try. It's always nostalgic for me with barbecue chicken. My mom always made really good barbecue chicken, and when I make it the way she did. But this was on the smoker. James had done this on the smoker, and then we just finished it off in the oven with the barbecue. Also very nostalgic anytime I use open pit. It's not James' favorite, but I really love it. This day I used a combo of open pit, and I had a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's left in the jar, and it just got all crispy and delicious in the oven, and James wanted steak fries with it. So this was a very simple, easy meal, but again, barbecue chicken, just one of those delicious meals. This night I decided to do pork chops. I pulled these 2 pork chops from my freezer, and I just wanted to fry them up old school style fried pork chops. I use very simple seasonings for this, just salt, pepper, garlic, usually something like that, very simple. And then I just give them a light coating in flour. I don't do, a dipping dredging station. I don't want like a heavy crispy coating. I just want a light coating of flour when I fry these up. And the trick with pork chops, in my opinion, maybe a medium heat to get a good crisp on the outside. When it's good and crispy on that one side, turn it over, and then in a few minutes I reduce down my temperature and I let them cook slower. And then I think it's important not to overcook a pork chop, and so that's when your handy dandy meat thermometer comes in handy, and you can kind of check for doneness with that. But if you do it that way, you'll get a tender pork chop every time. Look at these. This is exactly where I am wanting them. I can just almost taste these now. I wanted to do these in my cast iron because I really wanted to make gravy and biscuits and eggs. So breakfast for dinner with pork chops. That is really some of the most flavorful gravy you can get is from frying pork chops. And I don't do this very often. A lot of times when I make pork chops, we have it, other ways. But if you decide you want to have pork chops with breakfast, make gravy and biscuits with it, and you will have some of the most flavorful gravy. The drippings from the pork chops just make your gravy over the top. And I couldn't tell you the last time I've had canned biscuits instead of homemade, but I had the canned biscuits. They were quick and easy. This is just a delicious country breakfast for dinner. After several weeks of being so busy and not doing a lot of cooking, this just turned out to be having a lot of the meals that we love, just tried and true favorites. So spaghetti, I like to use angel hair pasta, made some garlic bread, and I found this Parmesan cheese with red pepper flakes from Aldi. It's got a little kick to it. It was very good. You can't go wrong with the spaghetti dinner. All right, you guys, we've got a really quick and easy dinner tonight, but this is what we were hungry for. On the way to town today, I scratched the idea of making spaghetti, which is kind of what I thought I was going to make. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy some country fried steak. So I made this, I think, what's the brand? Tyson, I guess. Country fried steak. Just bake it in the oven according to package directions. I used an envelope of the Pioneer brand white pepper gravy. These are Bob Evans mashed potatoes from the refrigerated section. I did cook up some green beans with garlic powder, some minced onion, a little bit of chicken base. Cooked those up, got some cottage cheese and a leftover biscuit from last night. So you don't always have to go through the drive-through for something quick and easy. You can buy those things at the grocery store as well. And actually we did this tonight because this is what sounded good. So country fried steak for dinner tonight. Hey y'all, I don't know if I already showed you this or if I'm going to show you this upcoming. I know I filmed it, but James ordered this bowl for me as a surprise, and he told me I would have a delivery, and sure enough, it was this. I had seen where Walmart was carrying some KitchenAid batter bowls like this to fit on your KitchenAid, and I was remarking about that. I was like, that is neat. Walmart's, and they're pretty. I said, Walmart's selling these, they're so pretty. I said, it's funny, I've wanted this striped one. I've looked at it for a couple years, but I just won't break down and pay the money for it. And so he ordered it, and I think he said, well, I know he said it was about 40% off, I'd say, I think he said, and he felt like maybe it said discontinued. He wasn't sure completely. Anyhow, this is gonna go on its maiden voyage today, you guys. So I also thought I would show you a while back, I ordered these little metal casters, rollers that you put on your appliances in the kitchen that you want to roll. And so that's really cool. I ordered them for my coffee maker. I have grand boys here today. And there were some extras, so I put them on my KitchenAid. And then I also ordered this little cord keeper for the back. So how cool is that? All little handy gadgets. So I'm gonna pull this thing forward here and show you, it just rolls so smooth. And I'm gonna make some blueberry muffins. That's what I'm in the mood for. All right, I have 1 stick of butter softened and a cup of sugar. I'm gonna get that mixed up, and then I'm gonna add 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. This recipe is from one of my favorite cookbooks, by the way. I've been making this one for years and years. I have showed it on this channel and I have it on my old blog, but the recipe here calls for a blend of flours. So flour, soy flour, wheat flour, plus 2 tablespoons of wheat germ. I just use regular flour. I use self-rising actually when I make this. Pretty much that's what I use all the time. So I just do 2 cups of flour, and then you can add a little bit, 2 tablespoons extra if you want for the wheat germ. I don't know if I even ever do that. And then you alternate that back and forth with the milk. Okay, and I am going to use these frozen blueberries because that's what I have on hand, and I've been trying to work through things that I have in my pantry and freezer, especially my freezer right now. Anyway, so these are going to get stirred in. And see how pretty the batter is. Such a pretty batter, and this makes 12 nice size muffins. The recipe does say to smush up a little bit of the berries and then put the rest in. And I don't do that. I just mix them all in. I don't feel like you guys are up high enough to see this, but that's okay. I'll show you here in a second. Just getting these kind of stirred in gently. This is going to make the batter from these frozen ones pretty purpley, but I don't mind. They're just for us to eat here at home. All right, let me show you the batter. Last thing, the recipe says to mix a tablespoon of white sugar with 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I usually leave the nutmeg out, but I didn't leave it out today. And I think I'm going to do this with my fingers because I can get a better feel for it than I can with the spoon. The spoon, I just might end up dumping it all in one place. This way, it's a little bit more even. Yes, you hear I've got 2 grandsons here today, and they're just playing like crazy boys. Okay, I'm gonna go around one more time. And here they are, all out of the oven. Like I said, these frozen blueberries definitely gives them a more blue hue than anything else. There's a few peaks of non-blue there, but they taste just as good either way. But the fresh blueberries, of course, leave the batter more of the normal color. But these are so good. If you're looking for a good blueberry muffin recipe, these are the best. And I have made these for people and served them at various things, and always get rave reviews, and usually people ask for the recipe. So this is a really, really good one. And this is my favorite way to have it, with a little pat of butter on the top while they're warm. And I just heated me up some coffee for a little afternoon snack. Yummy. I'm excited about these. I've been wanting to make them for a while. I finally got around to it. All right, you guys, this brings us to the end. I hope you got some ideas and inspiration. Sometimes you just got to cook those things that you're hungry for, those family favorites, those tried and trues that just hit the spot every single time. That's what this week was for us, and I hope you got some inspiration from it to get in the kitchen and cook up the things that you really love as well. All right, take care, you guys, and I'll see you next time, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.